So in this video, we're going to be covering reviews and the test process, right? Um, so what are reviews? Why are they so important, right? Of course, as part of the testing lifecycle, it's very important to review the test process, right? Very important to review the test cases, right? Test artifacts, right? Test cases are the basic units, right? Over which, of course, a complete testing process is executed. So having perfect test cases, of course, ensures that your tests are, of course, done properly and you have adequate test coverage, right? So it's always a good idea to ensure that you have high quality test cases, right? It's a good idea to review and ensure you have high quality test cases, right? So, test case reviews, help make them better, help makes the tester better, help makes the test better, right? It's a win-win for everyone, if you do that review, right? I personally, in my team, right, I like to do test case reviews, right? I review all the test cases produced by my team members, right, and make corrections, adjustments, suggestions where necessary. This helps the team member to improve on their test case writing abilities, right? Ensures better test coverage, just better oversight generally, right? So during these test case reviews, right, any discrepancies in understanding the requirements can be sorted out sooner, right? When the costs of rectifying are less rather than later when the cost will be higher, of course, when the app is in production. So the test case review is typically done by the test lead or the test manager, right? Or other engineers in the team also, right? Of course, when the tester or the analyst finish creating the test cases, it sends to the test manager or sends to other engineers to review test cases and see if they have some opinions or some input, right? Then, of course, he puts it in a test case repository, probably a folder on a shared drive or somewhere where all the test cases or all the tests are assembled in one place for easy usability. Right, it's essentially a test case repository is a centralized storage for all the test cases, right, that the test lead or test manager authored, reviewed, and authorized. Yes, very important. So you don't want your test scripts flying all over the place. You might need them later and you might have difficulty finding them. So it's important to have a test case repository, right? So inside our repository, all the test cases will be there. Every QA member has access to it and go retrieve, store files there whenever necessary, right? It helps to save time, helps to achieve comprehensive test coverage, helps with test reports, etc. I personally implemented a very good test repository in my organization where I had every of my engineer save their test cases, reports, and stuff, and other test artifacts in a folder, with their names appended. So it's easy for us to trace which test came from which person ran which test, stuff like that. So of course, I've explained the test review process. Of course, when the test case is authored, sent to the lead, test lead to review or other engineers to review, so that they can make corrections when necessary, add or subtract test cases when necessary. Check out which test cases are important, which test cases are useless, stuff like that. So, of course, test case review, you can go through peer reviews, you can review with your peers, you can review by yourself, of course, and you can also have supervisory review, whereby your supervisor, of course, which will be a test manager, senior engineer, etc., reviews your test cases and, helps make corrections to them. Also, during test automation, yeah, it's helpful to review test scripts during test automation. I personally review all test scripts that is churned out during test automation, right? Review them for bugs. A few times you definitely find something that was not correctly implemented, and you might just help correct and save some time. And of course, show the engineer how to get it done, right? Next time, right? Show you a few assertions, a few functions that are written improperly, just correct and teach. So next, you're helping to make a better engineer, right? Helping to make your own work lighter, because after you teach them how to do it, of course, you don't have to teach them the second time. They'll be able to do it themselves and teach others from there on out. So this is a very important aspect, right, of testing. The test review process, very, very important aspect of testing. So a few tips while reviewing test cases, right? Allow the tester, always meet the tester face to face to ensure they understand the process. Of course, run the test cases on the system under test to better understand the result and the rationale. Right, have a copy of the SRS or FRD, PRD, right, as a software specification, right, or the system specification. Have a copy so you can read through and see if the tester, you know, has complete test coverage, right? If you're not sure about the test case or the expected results, it's best advised to talk to your client or test lead before proceeding, right? So, might want to consider some stuff during test case review, right? You want to consider if all the test cases are developed with the intention of finding bugs, the areas of potential impact, expected results of the behavior is correctly documented, test data, if the test data is correct and covers all possible domain classes. Check if it covers positive and negative test scenarios, very important. Always ensure that you have a lot of negative test scenarios in your testing, right? Aim for maximum test coverage, right? What are the requirements? Are they clear, right? All these things are you want to consider during your test case review, right? Common mistakes that can be encountered during test case review includes spelling errors, grammatical errors, replication, duplicate test cases, right? Check if standards or guidelines are followed during the test review process. Redundancy, want to check whether a test case is outdated due to a change in requirements, right? Language, of course, want to check if it's written in simple and easy to understand language structure. Of course, template format, right? Template format of the reporting, right? You want to check if template is easy to read and understand, easy to follow, easy to modify, etc. Right? Classifying defects based on test case review, right? If the checklist is properly utilized and defects are uncovered, you must classify defects using the following categories, right? Classify the no test data, incomplete test case, incorrect test data, typos, inconsistent language, right? Incorrect or expected behavior, right? Grammatical errors, incomplete results, missing negative test cases. These are some of the defects found with test cases or test case documentation, as the case may be. Right, you must be able to check for these classes of defects with test case documentation. Very important, right? So test review is very important. So as of course, QA is testing the product. They're also testing the QA, testing the test to ensure that they're following best standards and practices and not making errors, omissions, stuff like that. So that's all for reviews and the test process. And I will see you in the next video.